you how this information connects. We come to know ourselves in our consciousness, every single person. We will just do it in different ways. We will study, we'll do all sorts of things. And then sometimes we develop something new, and that's what came through me. And that's something that a lot of people hadn't seen, and I hadn't seen it either. And that's why I wanted to give more people the opportunity to know what they can achieve, because that's what this work was. And I can say to people, there's no reason for you not to have the life you're meant to have, the, the love, the success, all of that. It's just you have to accept yourself. And I couldn't do it. So that's why I'm the best teacher for everyone else, because I had to move through everything. When you We each will move through difficulties, challenges, whatever in our lives. We just have that path, but then we uncover things, we get better, and then we keep going. And sometimes we don't understand why it's happening. Well, I sat down, I said, I want to understand it. I want to understand why the world is the way that it is. And that's exactly what I did. And you will find that when you set out an intention or a dream that you have for yourself, it'll be fulfilled in surprising ways, in ways that you may not even imagine. And there is nothing that has happened in your life that doesn't have benefit when you decide to find it. And I can tell you that because I lived it. I also had to write the philosophy that I received through Wilhelm that'll explain everything. What you will see is I sat down every day starting in 1989 receiving guidance that was about personal development. How do I understand myself? How do I find what I'm supposed to do? How do I move beyond my fear? How do I become more confident? Why am I so afraid of everything? Every possible question that anyone might have in their life, I answered it because I received it. I wrote it all down. And if you think of any kind of um, self development, personal development, self actualization, any kind of work that you might read, any great work of philosophy or whatever, it's in this work. I'm saying this because I didn't know I was doing that. We never know what we're going to accomplish because we're doing it, or what we're achieving until we look at it. But then we can also become afraid of it because it's going to be different. You are meant to be different than everyone else on this planet. And that's what I was given, but I too was afraid of it. In 2005, after doing this work since 1989, I'm having this vision that I was supposed to bring something to the world that was going to help during this great time of transition. I didn't believe it, so I put it away, and then things didn't go well in my life because now I'm not honoring who I was supposed to become. The only difficulty any person will have in their lives is when they're not taking the next step and accepting themselves, and that is the next level of who you're meant to become. We don't stay in the same place, but we can become afraid and stay where we were, and that's what I had done. But I was supposed to. I'm saying this because we each have a life path. We may judge it, we may not understand it as we're moving through it, but you will see that there's an organization in this world, and that's what I uncovered, and that's what I'm revealing to everyone now. And we can say we don't understand what's happening. Their energies, their emotions, their thoughts, their actions, they're all the things that we are using. And then we start to understand as a civilization how they begin to affect us. And what came through Wilhelm was an understanding of human consciousness and how it develops over time, which is why it's called a quantum philosophy, because I sat down and did it every day. And on a particular day, there was a theme that ran through from 2008 till through to 2025, basically. Now, I didn't know it, but then it was being revealed. This is a series, this is a cycle, and these have been established in our history of humans. We can see them. And 36 years, they said, starting in 1989, when I was urged to sit down and start doing this. And those are some of the changes that we are still moving through in this cycle that we are repeating and completing at this time, which is why it might have felt to you a little uncomfortable, frightening, or that you were being moved in ways that you didn't understand, because we all are. We come into the world to create it, and we create it through us. Now, the levels of consciousness again. And I hid from this because I couldn't understand how I was receiving it, and I don't want anyone else to do that. because you have more abilities and talents that will emerge as you live if you don't hold them back. And that's the only reason that we will have trouble because we're holding back or we're afraid or we're doubting ourselves. And I did that. And then I went and started screwing up so many things because I didn't understand how valuable this was. I didn't understand what I had, the unprecedented thing I had done all these years, 37 years. And then it's turned into the first verified life success system because it just takes every person to who they're meant to become. And the reason I'm saying this is that we will all have difficulties, but we can move through them. And when we do, we start to come into alignment and heal. I came into the world with all kinds of challenges, with difficulties from birth. When I was born, things were wrong. And I spent my time moving through every difficulty, and you'll read so much about it. That's why I wanted everyone to have this. There's you can accomplish greatness, and that I do know. But I'm going to tell you how it happened. Gibran, if you the Ascension Guide, I think that that is there. I want them to see this. I want you to understand something. I started in 1989. I did not know why I was saving the messages. I didn't even want people to see them at first because it was like, how am I receiving this and how am I knowing it? And you will read the analysis on so much of this information, and it says this is not accidental, it's not random. Everything that is aligned in different ways that I couldn't have known. It was even aligned astrologically, and I've never studied any of that. So we can develop different gifts and skills that we couldn't we don't know. Then I was when you don't know, it can be challenging for you, you know, because we will judge ourselves. I mean, I was neurodivergent, and so my life was I was very different. But you see there that that cabinet, I started in '89, but I kept every single day. Didn't know why, and it was only until 2007, eight actually, that they started getting published. That's the only earliest ones you would find on the website because other people asked for them. I'm saying this because I hid from it. You might have hidden from yourself. I didn't want people to know what I was doing. Even my friends and family didn't get it and didn't know. And I was holding out. But then it was turned out that it was for a reason. It was to take us to a new understanding of ourselves and our world that was a little large for me to accept. But now, after it's all been documented, because I went through lots of research, I don't give people anything unless I know that it's going to give a result and they're going to start to accomplish something. That's what we are all meant to do. So um, then you're going to see something else, and I'm just being completely transparent because I'm going to. This is going to be studied eventually because we haven't seen this in human history. Because all this work, all these years, I kept healing major illnesses and surgeries and all sorts of things, even things like allergies and all that. Because again, it's energy. I did not know it until this information was analyzed and I'm starting to see it. And then it was tested on others. Still, I doubted it, and I had an Akashic Records reading. Nothing I would ever have done before. That even verified it. What I'm saying is that I know, okay, let me tell you something else. These are things that we have not seen before, and so we got to own ourselves when this comes up. Um, when I was told I had this information, and if I were to meet someone, I would have received a message for them on their birthday in 2012. I go, how's that possible? We start to understand energy. We start to understand consciousness, and we start to understand that we have more abilities to transfer that consciousness than we ever knew. We're using new things like, artificial intelligence and computers and all of that, but our minds are so much more powerful. We don't believe that necessarily. I certainly didn't, even when I was told that from my grandmother, just like you. And then I developed it and developed abilities and skills that I couldn't imagine. I can sit and receive the information now, and it's aligned. I went the other day and I said, let me look and see what Wilhelm has given us. And all the astrological, astronomical changes over the years were all aligned. All the information. because we only process our lives through the information and the emotions that we process. And the world, we're affected by the changes in the world that we may not always understand. Everyone's not going to study astrology or astronomy or any of those things. Most people don't think anything exists outside of what they see in front of them. I don't have that ability because I ran from this connection to the greater intelligence. And then one of the other night, and you'll see all of this because I'm going to leave all the documents. They says you have scientifically proven spirituality because it's related. The science is there. It connects. Our brains operate in this particular way. Energy is there, and we learn how to operate with it and to use it. And when we do that, we effectuate healing within ourselves and also within the planet because we're all the same. And that's what happened and what I was given. What we're moving through now is a generational change. All of our old stuff is coming up. Anything within us that we didn't like, that was uncomfortable, that was bad, that we judged ourselves, whatever it was, we want to get rid of it. We want to clear it out, and then that's how we heal. But we also want to do that in our world, in our civilization. Why are we hating ourselves and others? Why are we doing those things continually? So when I first started, I want you to see all of this because you will get so much information because that's my goal. I've been doing this so much because since a kid, I just wanted to see people happy. I want to see people doing what they came to the world to do, and I wanted to see the world better. That's been always what I've been about. But I feared myself, just as you may have. That's why I wrote the book on fear. But then I also know what happens when you move over it. I also know what happens when you stay with something and don't give up, which is why I guarantee this work. It took me 37 years, but everything, it's kind of weird now. I'll just tell you because everyone will not do this. But every day I am like amazed at 75 years old that I keep feeling better. And I know that there's more, that it'll keep going in that direction if I'm using my consciousness to stay aligned, and more people can do that. When I allowed people to move through this work, and I'm telling you, it's only 31 sessions that they did, their lives were changed. Now, everyone's not going to believe that, and I know it. What I'm doing now today, I wanted to put this out because I'm changing because I have to honor this. I didn't know I had this gift, by the way. I hid from it. People told me that I was this pure, direct channel to information, and all along the way, I'm just doubting it. You could have done that as well. So, but that's also progress. That's also when we start to move through it. And that's what I can do. And when you say, why is this a guaranteed life success? Because I can guarantee you that you have a great life to live and it's in there. The only thing that happens is it's been blocked in some way or your alignment has gone off with who you could become. And it also doesn't matter where you are, what you've done, because you're never done. As long as you're alive, if you're still feeling a little uncomfortable, there's more for you to do because it will happen when you develop the ability to use your consciousness. And that is self mastery. And that is what this work is. So I just wanted everyone to know. I, again, didn't know that I had done this. When you create a philosophy, you have to live it. So you can't know it while it's happening. And you have to see the results, and then the science of it has to prove it. And that's what's done. So that's what I'm putting out now. And I'm going to start taking so many more private clients, but anyone who comes into this work will have all of it because it's going to be, it's extensive what I have, and you'll read all of that. Um, the reason we are moving through this time is everybody's a little concerned it's because you wanted to love yourself. That people will say, well, how does that make any sense? Because when you're uncomfortable, when you're afraid, when you're insecure, you just haven't connected to your authentic self. And I understand it because I lived that way. But I also know what can happen because at 75, I don't have that. But I know the process. But I didn't invent the process, it was given to me. And so the most astonishing thing was, and you'll read all of this, they said, no one has done this before. This consistent philosophy that was building upon itself and showing how humans evolve over time and how they can reach this higher state of consciousness and create and manifest. Surprising. I, again, didn't know, but now you'll see it. And it combined, this is the first one that combined this neuroscience, which I was receiving, and epigenetics, because that's the thing that we didn't understand so much. Why do we have these old attachments to generations old of ideas and beliefs? And we're still holding on to them, and we don't live the lives we're supposed to have, and we don't create the world we want to see. And then we keep creating wars. When you'll hear all of this because it's in the channeling sessions, you'll see some of them. I was able to receive information that was aligned over decades that would say this is happening in the world now and why. How you can move through it, navigate your life to achieve your success, and then contribute to our world becoming better because now you have decided to become your greatest self. Now we can all become abundant because that's what this work will do. And that's what I'm going to do with it now. Because as you'll read, that was part of what's going on in our world, and you felt it. You've seen it, you've heard it talked about. And so it's like you are the one who needs to become more abundant by loving yourself, which is energy. Everything is energy in our world. We just learn how to use it. So, um, Gibran, was there something else that I wanted to show them?
I think I think we were
Oh,
supposed to read
just
the
scroll. Oh, scroll down the any advice page. I want. Yeah, that was what it was. Um,
right.
what I've done, I want everybody to see this. If you go to the any advice, you'll see one blog post there. However, if you scroll down, you'll see that over the last several days, what I've been doing is I've been guided that way to put up so much information because of the energies that are moving through our world and how they may be making some of us really afraid or uncomfortable when we don't understand what's happening. But what's happening is we're starting to own ourselves. We're beginning to own ourselves so much more. Uh, and so, when you go to any advice, you'll see that I just went out of my way because I'm changing. I have more information that can I can't live long enough to really put it together, but we're going to be putting it in smaller groups so, for people to work with it. I'm going to develop another community. That'll be something people can come in and get more advanced work that you pay a little subscription or something. Those are things that are going to be figured out. However, I opened up 5 spaces for people tonight at this special rate because you will not believe what you can do with this. And you'll hear it from the people, the testimonials. Oh, I just realized they're not on the blog. I'll add those. I want you to see them. They surprised me as well. And that's what will come up for you. You'll discover something about yourself you had no idea. And I'll also tell you, I'm just going to tell you, everything you thought was wrong about yourself wasn't. It just wasn't. I went to look for a message. I'm going to find this video and I'll put it on the site because it was from several years ago. This morning, I went to my YouTube channel and I said, I want to find this video that I said, I can't see anything wrong with you. Because a couple of years ago, I was realizing with this work, I would see people and I'm going, they're a little off. They're doing this and they're a little confused, but there's nothing wrong. There's a way to change it. There's a way to repurpose, reprogram, all of that. And so that's what was coming up. And so when I went to do that, I was led to a different channeling session, and you listen to it, and it's like, oh wow, in 2022, it'll blow you away. So I'll give you that as well. The reason I'm doing this, I want you to know that you have the opportunity to live your best life. I want everyone to see it. Doesn't matter when you might come into this work, it's guaranteed because you'll move through any difficulty, any challenge. I don't care who it is, who you are, it's all the same. And I'm saying that because I don't know your personality. When I'm doing Wilhelm, this is why I say it's the first guaranteed life success because see when I'm doing Wilhelm, I'm connecting to your soul. It's not just about what these things that you've done or all of that. None of that. It's not about your how you look. It's not about your race, your gender. It's none of that. It's your soul, and that's that place inside, and that's what I can tap into. Again, didn't know it, but now I'm changing, and that's going to be my focus because there's never been a work created like this. It was called the first guaranteed, you know, life personal development. That was the first thing that happened. And Listen, I held back, didn't believe it. Years ago, they told me, you have to give this to the world. We've never seen anything like this. This is the best contribution to human consciousness. If people could move to that state as you have, what would happen? And that's what I want to give people. And I'm saying this because you might look at me and think everything's right. I mean, I'm okay and I'm in a good place. You don't know the rest of my life. You don't know what this. So I do know what you can achieve, and that's why that sometimes I get a little frustrated when I see people giving up and not trying because I know what you can do. Anyway, I had to give this to you tonight because it was so important, and it was surprising to me when I discovered what was here. I didn't know. Now I'm going to give it to everyone, and it's been told I have to. It's going to be studied. I've got all these resources where it's going to be sent to different places to study it because we've never seen it. No one had done it quite in this way. But I want to say, you may do something else yourself that no one in history has ever done. And I want to give you permission because I'm giving myself permission to acknowledge that and give it to the world. Okay, I think anything else? Oh, do we have any questions? Anybody come in with anything?
Let's see. Comments. What is Wilhelm's Ascension Guide? Jay asked.
Oh, it's on the site. It's just information that showed the process that we moved through, and it was analyzed. And so we put down these messages um, over the string, and then with reflection questions. Because when you go through the messages and read them, and then answer the questions, you start to come to a greater understanding of yourself, and that's really the whole point. And I wanted people to try that.
Is it kind of like what would you call it? A glossary or an index?
No, that particular thing that's on there is just one day of messages that I was over all the years that showed how we progress in our consciousness. That's what they called ascension. We move to a higher state of understanding in ourselves as we live. We can think about it over time. However, everything is always existing now. Wilhelm was operating from a different place, and so I could receive information from the quantum field. That's why the information was aligned, and that's why it allows healing to come through. Anything else there?
Mm, no more
Great.
comments.
Okay, perfect. This is good. I'm putting this out tonight because you'll see on the 13th what's going to be there. There's no reason for you not to have this really great life and to be 75 and to gone through. I do know that's true, but I couldn't have done it without this work. I didn't make this up. I didn't believe it. I hid from it like you might have done, but it works because it's been tested and it's science. And that's the thing that gives me such great comfort to be able to give it to you. You can have the life you're supposed to have. 6 years ago, no, it was 5 years ago when I first put this out, I was saying this, come live your best life. And I knew that that was possible, to everyone. I said, live the best life, but I still wasn't fully understanding it. And then to see what it was and the results, I'm like, okay, I'm doing this now. And again, if I could give any person the understanding of the ability that they have to create something wonderful, well, already so many people have done that, but I mean, many more people. That's my goal now because I know that you can live what the life you want to have. And I also know we don't have to go through stress in our lives or in the world because we're the ones who are creating it. We just got to decide we want to be happy and love ourselves. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and we will get this out to you. And please check all the work and the offers and the whole bit. And I'm going to work with, and there's a way for you to schedule if you want to meet with me. If you're not sure about this, you want to be sure, just schedule a session. You'll see, because I know who you're meant to become. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.